Okay.
It's lit.
Open it up. I'm sticking with the bottle. That was a good crack.
I don't have the bottle today.
You're going straight out of the glass.
Mm-hmm. Welcome everybody back to another episode of Cold One Conversations. I am Brendan Petrilli. Got my main man Harold Hoops on the upper side here. You are listening.
My Zoom name.
You are listening to Cold One Conversations. Make sure you subscribe. Press that button. Put the bell on because we're here. We're making you money. And guess what? We're making you big money. We might not be making ourselves money because we might have screwed the pooch, but we're making you money because all of you guys out there are subscribed. You're clicking the like button. You're listening. You're following the clips. You're following the picks because the HTP hit again.
You don't stop.
No. Second time in 8 weeks. It's
Count
hit.
Count them two. Crisp C-notes.
A nice 15 minimum wage bet. $15 would have won you $196.
We don't judge how much you put down. Everybody's got 15 though.
Responsibly.
Everybody.
Minimum wage. Nowadays.
Minimum wage.
So we're hot. We're here. We're rocking and rolling. I went 4-2 with my picks. Harry, not so great.
Had a bad. He
was the hot hand to start the year for us too.
Yeah, dude.
He was hanging them, letting them hang. He was letting me know every week how good I am, how great he is, how much I suck. But now the tables have turned.
People, we're riders. We're riders here, okay? And just because I'm down now, I'm like Rocky. Come on, Rock! I'm already back up.
You're stealing another Philly thing.
I'm giving more and more picks. I'm going to go 6-0 this week. The HTL is going to go ridiculous. You might as well put 100 on each bet. That's a third Philly thing. 100, aka Brendan Petrilli, because that's his go-to. We put down 100. Welcome everyone to Cold One's Conversations. As my co-star Brendan Petrilli just said, we are glad to be back. I hope that you're all enjoying. He thinks it's a stash. It's not. It's a thick stash with a light beard. It's coming back in. I wanted to give it a little skin tight shave. But hey, you're here for the picks. You're here for the recap. Truly, let's get into it. And I think that we got to open it up with the conversation of there's no more undefeated teams in the NFL anymore, bro.
That hurt.
No more 8-1.
That hurt.
I know that obviously if you're listening to the BSP podcast, you know that
you subscribed.
And also you know that it's just depression. But I'm gonna give you my take.
It's been a bad week.
I'm gonna give you my take before I'm gonna give you my take before we kind of let you go off the rails. Here's my overall opinion, not going too deep in on either Washington or the Eagles. Here's just what I believe. I don't think that the league is created anymore that you can have a 2007 Patriots season undefeated, 16-0, 17-0. I just don't think so. And the specific reason why I would say that is the phrase defense wins championships is true, but offense wins regular season. And we know that. And we know that because the league is now meant to only score points. You touch the quarterback wrong, you're getting a 15-yard penalty. You lightly down the field look like you're giving passing interference, flag is coming. You're going down the field. And right there and then, people are just able to score. You're able to put up points. Teams that I've always lived by, if you listen to the podcast, anybody can have a good day. And if you capitalize on these calls that are so driven towards points and driven to strip away the defense, make the defense work harder, make defensive cadence look like it's egregious when it's not. When Ed Reed was playing and Ray Lewis was playing and we won the Super Bowl 2013, calls that are being made today in 2022 weren't happening. I would go as far to say that when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, there's a whole different level of calls that are going on today that are just so much more offensive driven. Now, that doesn't happen later in the playoffs. But when you're looking at 17 weeks now that we have, I don't think that there's a team that can go 17-0. Because if anybody can have a good week and if anybody can get a call to go their way and we can just score and you're going to take defense, instead of it being at 75, 50%, defense during the regular season, in my opinion, is 40% and below when it comes to teams that can really play each other, especially when it comes to the speed of an in-division rivalry. And, I think that that's what sums it up. The Eagles needed to capitalize on some big moments that they weren't able to. They didn't have calls go their way. Washington got very lucky in many cases. But at the end of the day, dude, so at some point or another, I don't believe that this league that can go 17-0. Point, I'll rest it. I want to know what you think. I don't think I'm talking out my ass. I know that there's a lot more that went into it. What do you think about that take?
I don't hate it. I don't disagree with it. My thing was I was literally texting like the boy, like Kieran, Zook, Bosch, all those guys about going into the game. Like, hey, the Eagles win this game, and if they win this game, like I thought they were going to, they like what I was talking about with the Steelers, come in prime time and absolutely mollywop this team. We could be looking at an undefeated season. I was gonna be in if they won that game. I was ready to go all in, and I was ready to come on this show, ready to come on the BSP podcast and be like, we're fucking going undefeated and we're winning the Super Bowl. That was if they won this game and if they took care of business like I thought they were going to. And that's what makes it so frustrating because I was so close. I've been very good, Harry. I've been very good biting my tongue and not getting too overhyped and letting this whole season play out because this team is a good football team, very good football team. And for them to come out and lay an egg like that, to play so bad, to not live up to the standard is what Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni love to say now this year, is live up to their standard, to not do that, to have the mistakes, to have the turnovers. Where you came into this night, you only had 3 turnovers on the offense all year through 8 games. 3, Harry, 3. And then you have 3 in one game. That's hard to come back from.
Absolutely.
To go where your defense can't stop the run, you're dropping Robert Quinn, your pass rushing specialist who had 18.5 sacks. You brought him in to rush the passer. He dropped back in coverage for 30% of the plays in this game. He was a coverage linebacker.
Here we go.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
He rushes the passer. He doesn't cover guys.
Yeah. No.
It's just the stupidity of falling back into the same mistakes that you had last year. I thought you fixed. I thought you had it figured out. I thought you knew, hey, we got this swagger. We got this pass rush. We started out. You had the roughing the kicker or whatever on the first drive, right?
Yeah.
But then the next play, Josh Sweat comes around, strip sack. We score on 2 plays. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a blowout. But then to fall into the same mistakes of not running the football, not rushing the passer, and just the nonstop penalties and mistakes on both sides of the football that you haven't seen this year. It finally came back and it bit you. And that's why you play the games. That's why you play them.
But doesn't it make sense, though, as well, that those mistakes would happen? See, this is my point, though, that those mistakes happened in a game against one of your in-division rivals compared to it happening against a Tampa, a Seattle, a 49er. That's going to happen because the way that Washington is going to prepare for you is completely different than the way that Tampa is going to prepare for you because they play you every year, twice a year. The way that the Steelers, even though Kenny Pickett's going to throw 5 interceptions every single game, they're going to play in a different mode when they're going against the Ravens compared to when the Steelers are going to go against the Jets. There's a different amount of what I think of vulnerabilities that can be exposed by an in-division rival. Because again, dude, they got more tape on you than anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate that. But you also saw it the week before on Thursday night against Houston. You saw some of these flaws coming out. I work for the Farzy show. Make sure you go subscribe to that. But Mark Farzetta had on Hollis Thomas. He defensive tackle for the Eagles for a lot of years. He was on the show yesterday, so go check that out. And he was talking about how both the Texans and the Commanders both ran the same exact 2 plays. They would go double team Fletcher Cox in the middle.
Yep. Yeah.
I forget the wording he was calling the play. It was like a double rub or whatever.
A
and
win.
then and they would double them, and then one of the guys would rub off into the linebacker, and they would get 5 yards every play. And that's what both teams ran successfully, where you could just go and get those 2nd and 6,
What's going on here?
3rd and 2s, where they were just able to just rip off these 4 or 5 run plays where you could just get it short and manageable for these weaker quarterbacks,
Right.
where you couldn't pin your ears back. You couldn't press. You couldn't let the guys go get after them because they were just getting the ball out quick. They were able to move the ball up the field. They were running the same play over and over on defense, and it just got frustrating. And to give the Commanders credit, to give Taylor Heineke credit, even though I have a lot of choice words for that guy after that last penalty to end the game, absolute soft P-word move, but I'll give him credit. The guy is a baller. He knows how to play football. He's a gamer, not a baller. Baller's wrong word because you'd have to be cool to be a baller. He's a gamer. He
looks weird playing quarterback. He's a guy that looks very weird in the position.
And when he threw that pick going into the 3rd, going into the 4th quarter there, I'm like, Heineke's going to Heineke. And then the Eagles come back. I'm like, this is Jalen Hurts' drive.
Sure.
He's got to make an MVP-like drive here, and he does. He puts the ball on a dime for Quez Watkins to run under it, to go and take it to the house for a 60-yard plus touchdown to give the Eagles the lead. But he falls down, gets back up, which is fine. I'm saying, get up, go, go, go. But he doesn't tuck
Run, Lenny, run.
He doesn't tuck it away, and it gets punched out. Devontae Smith comes running in, dives on it, squirts out, and then the Commander picks it up, and it's their ball. And you're just like, after all the other things that went wrong already in this game, for that to happen, dude, frustrating.
Tumbling. It lets you know that you're still in the NFL. You're not above it.
Yes, exactly. And I like where you're going with that because that's why you play the games.
Right.
Sucks. What I said, I was just about ready to go all in and undefeated, but I wasn't there yet. And that's why you play the games. That's why against, you're saying individual rivals, I agree with. They had more to play with. I tweeted out. They were hungrier. They wanted it more. Heineke, their defense, they wanted it more. And you see it post game where AJ Brown and all the guys are kind of like, they were happy to finally lose that undefeated talk. Am I thrilled with that? No, because you should want to work for perfection. You should want perfection. But if that takes a little bit of pressure off of them where they can go and continue to ball out like they have been, fine. Whatever, dude. It is what it is. Am I happy with it? No. But it's been a rough couple weeks now for Philadelphia sports. When we were on the top. We were on top. And
still on top, dude. You still got the bet, but here's the thing, though, dude.
Exactly. I'm not down on the Eagles at all. We're still gonna win the division.
You got the best record in the NFL.
Yes, exactly. We're gonna hopefully keep that number 1 seed as we move throughout the season here. So, I mean, I'm not saying the Eagles suck. The Eagles are this, they're that. Fire everybody. No, I'm not like that at all.
I am.
Yeah. Okay. So that's where we're at. Went a little longer than I thought we wanted to, but
all right, let's move into let's get off this Eagles talk. Let's go into what's being called the best game of the season. Okay, let's talk a little Vikings. Let's talk a little Buffalo.
Yeah, that was probably the game of the year right now. And honestly, watching that game, I wanted to go. Watching that, my takeaways were the Eagles were the best team in the NFL because the Bills were not good. They've had problems. They've had a lot of problems. Josh Allen has struggled.
You're not hearing me disagree.
The Vikings, they were terrible. They had so many opportunities.
Yes.
Both teams had so many opportunities. So while walking away from that game, I was just like, the Eagles are the best team far and away in the NFL, and they screwed the pooch. But go ahead.
Not being an Eagles fan, being a Ravens fan, what it said to me is what I said last week.
You got a good chance too. Yeah.
What I said on the podcast is true. The AFC now is wide open, and everybody that was saying, "Oh, this is locked up. This is the Bills' year. They're coming for retribution." What did I say? What I said was the teams that it's going to come down to is Kansas City and Baltimore. And Baltimore we'll get into some Baltimore talk later, but let's focus on the Vikings. Let's focus on the Bills. Let's focus on what we talked about with the Bills last week. And I want to start with my points there. when we looked at, Josh Allen, obviously 2 weeks ago, gets the injury to the elbow. Conversations are, is he going to rest? Or sorry, a week before this week just ended. Is he going to rest? Are they going to play him? What's the deal? They're taking a really long time to get the news out. Then we find out obviously he's going to play. And you and I went on the podcast and I said, dude, this could be catastrophic for his season. And thankfully for him, it wasn't, and for his career. But what it was is that it showed that this team, as I said last week, when he's not on, they don't have an identity. When he's not on, they don't have an identity. He's an A-plus quarterback who makes a bunch of B and B-plus players look like A-minuses. The only guy that I would argue on his side of the ball besides him who's an A is Diggs. And then on the defensive side of the ball, they just got a bunch of dogs. But when they don't have their hound leader to go after it, they don't have that identity. And what I think that identity goes back to, Trilly, if you remember, one of the first clips that we made when we first started doing this podcast was I said, what I see in the Bills is a lot of the history that we've seen with Green Bay. Josh, go out there and do it. Just go out there and do it. We don't feel like we need to prepare as much. We automatically think that we're better just based off of your talent, just based off of your body style, the way that you bring defenders to the ground and linebackers to the ground, the way that you can sling the ball, your IQ, the way that you communicate on the field with your coaching staff and players. We feel like that you can just get it done. And so then you've got this team in the Vikings who overall in the NFL, not enough people are talking about, I don't think, are nipping at people's heels left and right. And they don't even play well throughout those 4 quarters, and they still beat you at home. I mean, dude, that they forced, first of all, the way that the overtime just occurred is crazy in general. I'm not going to say that that's because the Vikings are good or because the Bills are bad. That's football. Like, that's just the madness of the NFL. But you got to be able to close out, dude. And there's no question about it. You have the better defense. You have, in my opinion, the best 2 defenses in the NFL goes Eagles-Bills. You got the second best defense in the league. And he couldn't close out. He couldn't close out against Kirk Cousins, who I argued should have never gotten a new contract. And now this guy's looking like he's going to make a run at an NFC championship.
I mean, but their defense made plays at the end of the game, though.
They did make plays at the end of the game.
They made the stop on
it.
4th and inches, and then Josh Allen fumbles the ball for a touchdown. Like, that's insane.
I agree with you, but
they stopped them at the 5-yard line to force a field goal, and Josh Allen goes and throws an interception in the end zone.
Interception. He did. He played.
Their defense made plays. They gave up a lot of points. Is the problem?
They gave up a lot of points, though. That's my point. And this is a team that has the experience of already playing Miami, a team that could put 35 and 40 on you, right? This team has the experience of, even though it was in bad weather, it was a low-scoring game, playing the Baltimore Ravens and knowing a team that can score on you and beating them. You should be able to prepare for a team like the Vikings. I'm going to rest. I want to get your thoughts. What was your takeaway from that game, dude?
Yeah, I mean, I said it a little bit there, just chiming in with you. They're missing Jordan Poyer. They've missed him for the past couple games. He's a big thing for that defense. You saw him go out there for the coin flip for overtime. He's still that captain of that defense. Missing him has been tough for them, but one player is not going to be enough. That defense is not as good as we thought it was going to be.
Correct.
The pass rush isn't there. That was there.
That it was early in the season.
Yeah, the first 2-3 games.
Yeah,
just there. Now can it be there when it comes down to crunch time? I don't know. Maybe they're saving it. Maybe, but they made plays when it counted, at least in that game.
Sure.
But when Justin Jefferson's going up one-handed, taking it away from defenders. I mean, this guy is insane.
He's ridiculous.
I said it. I'm like, Howie Roseman better be thankful that he got A.J. Brown, or else he'd be hearing it. He'd be hearing it.
Hell yeah.
That he took Jalen Reagor in front of him still. Now, that's kind of gone away a little bit because you got A.J. Brown, which is I'm fine with. But when it comes back to it, this guy's a special player. He makes Kirk Cousins' job so much easier.
Just like Cook, Chase with Burrow. Yep.
Yeah. Dalvin Cook makes his job so much easier.
Yes.
Kirk Cousins doesn't have to be Josh Allen. He doesn't have to go, hey, Kurt, you got to go make us plays. And you saw when they told him, go make us a play, he came up a half inch short, at the very end. I like their opportunities when Kirk Cousins doesn't have to be the guy. I am nowhere close to being afraid of the Minnesota Vikings. Not even somewhat a smidge, anywhere close for them.
I would agree with that. I think that's a good take.
Let alone not just the Philadelphia Eagles at my bias, but I don't see them competing with like Dallas that we'll talk about coming up this week. Yeah, that's an interesting line moving forward. But when on the flip side of it, the Bills just have to get healthy. They're kind of in that middle ground now where they're figuring out what they need to do to successfully win close games because they were blowing teams out to start the year.
Yep. And then
now they got to learn how to
win.
Yes, and now they got to learn how to win those close games. They're going through those hiccups. They went through them last year. You would have thought by now they would have figured it out. That's a little bit concerning. But when it comes down to it, the Bills they're not the top of the AFC East, they are the top. Well, no, they're not. The Dolphins are the top of the AFC East. Dolphins are the top. Now.
Yep.
And I kind of like that angle for them anyway at this point. Because
I do too. I think it's an edge.
People were tooting their horn a lot.
Yeah.
A lot all year. So now they come back to the underdog side of it a little bit. They'll fight their way back. They'll be fine. Just like the Eagles. Both these teams are going to be fine. That's kind of where I'm at.
I like it. Let's move to Tampa Bay, Seattle. So
you loved it. You loved that.
I did. I loved that game, dude. And you know what? You know why I'm done reflecting on it?
I knew you were going to love it too. I said you were going to
I know you did. You did. And hindsight's always 20/20. But what I should have been saying to myself is I should have realized that and they disguised it. And again, this is how Vegas is smart. But they disguised it where they didn't give Seattle too many points. Where it was like, okay, I'm not getting tricked here. It's only 2.5. I'm going to take this. They're definitely going to cover if not win, right? And I almost went on the flip side. I remember during that podcast, I was about to do an alternate spread and go crazy and say Seattle -2.5, go the complete opposite direction, right? Either way, I would have lost. But the point being is that I should have realized, dude, everybody, very rough week. I mean, I'm back on the bottle. Speaking of what, out of respect, we have to
listen to that little crisp.
It's so nice. The pop that it gives you every time. Trader Joe, come on, hook us up here. The point being, I should have realized everybody's going to be throwing money on Seattle. Everybody's going to be throwing money on Seattle. Tampa Bay's not proven yet. Of course, they're going to be the ones to cover. Vegas wants to give you that little line. Doesn't happen. Tom's now on a 2-game win streak. He's looking like a Tom coming out of a marriage looking for revenge.
He's had a crazy week, a crazy couple weeks.
He's looking like a Tom who left New England, goes to Tampa Bay looking for revenge.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
Yeah,
I don't hate that at all. Giselle and him, they're splitting. He had the whole FTX thing go down.
I know.
I have no idea what that's about. You're coming to the wrong podcast if you're looking for that analysis. Like you just are.
Yeah.
Like Ponzi schemes, I have no idea. He probably got me. I never invested in FTX, whatever, crypto and any of that. But
dude, I can't believe that he would need to do something like that.
Yeah. Well, didn't he give the guy that Mike Evans handed the touchdown ball to?
He gave him Bitcoin, right?
Bitcoin, probably with FTX.
Yeah,
that guy got screwed. That was the worst bet in the history of bets.
Oh yeah,
that guy got screwed.
That guy got screwed.
That Tom Brady gave all that Bitcoin for what was it? His 500th touchdown pass.
Yeah, and it would and they said at auction at a minimum the opening bid would have opened at 1.3 million for that ball.
That was the worst bet ever.
Without a doubt.
Guy.
Without a doubt. But you know what? Fuck him. All right, let's stick on topic, though.
Yeah, sorry. But anyway.
Tampa Bay. Well,
Tom, I told you last week, I think this could be Tom's thing where he finally gets that dog back in him and they get in a groove. He wins one, comebacks and win, right? You counted them out. They only had 40-something seconds left. They came back and won that.
Yep.
This game, it was back and forth. I mean, he took a lead early. They kind of let off the gas pedal, and then they made plays. Their defense made plays. That's what they've been looking for. So the defense finally stepped up and got a pick on Geno Smith, who has been an MVP candidate through 8 weeks, which he has been. He's been playing very well for a team that's been overperforming.
Dude, they're going to make the playoffs. I mean,
for sure.
For a team that was supposed to be bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Bottom of the barrel, 3-4 wins. And they're in real playoff contention. That's ridiculous. And the guy who left is probably not going to be anywhere close to the playoff picture.
Yeah. No, for sure.
I mean, my whole thing is this, dude, is okay. I said it about 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, that I said I got to take 5 weeks off of Tampa. I didn't feel comfortable betting them. Yeah, who knows? Maybe I'm coming back to him now that he's winning.
Wait, are they clear of your system first before
they
you come
might,
back?
dude? I need to see him. If I'm gonna pretend that, if I'm gonna say that Tom's back, he's got to win one more, because I've never seen Tom play this badly before in his career, where he looks dysfunctional with. And the biggest reason why that is, and I don't want us to drown on, but and you'll agree with this. What's so scary about how bad he's been is that this isn't like he just came to Tampa or he just went to Miami. He's been with these receivers now for 3 years, and he's had massive trouble this season. Now, there's been a lot that goes into that.
His offensive line has been pretty banged up, though. He lost 2 of his best guys to start the year.
He has forgotten how to catch the ball.
Yeah.
Mike
Godwin didn't come back till 6 weeks in.
Correct.
Gronk's gone.
Jones, is he even back, or is he done?
Ronald Jones? I don't think so.
No, Julio Jones.
Oh, Julio. He caught a touchdown in that game.
Was he in that game? I didn't even notice.
He caught the first touchdown.
Did he? Okay. Well, either way, though, they brought him in as a
But
veteran.
he's been hurt.
He's been hurt. He's been in and out. And then Mike Evans has been, kind of a hothead and kind of lukewarm at times. Lukewarm.
He was protecting his boy.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I love. That's what you got to do. I mean, missing the ball, screaming at the sideline instead of screaming at yourself. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. And so what I got to say is I need to see Tom win one more to know that they're back. Listen, you're hearing this from the guy that said that this is going to be the team that walks easily into a Super Bowl. And boy, is that proven to be wrong. I said that first week on our podcast. I go, Tampa Bay is gonna have no trouble getting to an NFC championship right now. Right now, they got to fight like dogs to get there, dude. But maybe they can. He's still the GOAT. But they got a while to go back on the one thing I want to get your opinion on, dude, is what do you think is going on with him and BA?
Bruce Arians?
Did you see what he said in that press conference?
No, I didn't see it.
Bruce Arians was like,
Bruce Arians is still talking?
Oh, yeah.
To the media?
Oh, yeah.
I know he's like an upper whatever. He's still around. I know that.
He's still around. Oh, yeah. The camera goes to him every game.
Yeah.
He said, we don't fact check here, so I'm going to quote it and also make up my own words. But he said,
paraphrase.
We had a couple bad weeks there. We're really happy with this win. But sometimes, Tom, he wasn't clicking, and we just got to let him go do his thing. He'll figure it out. But it's just the point that he was like, Tom wasn't clicking. And it's like, dude, he came here first year that he got here, and he got you a ring. And he got all these players to take less money for you guys. And the way that you are talking is the way that like Ben Roethlisberger used to talk about Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin's one of the best to ever do it. And Ben Roethlisberger run his mouth the past 5 years. It's like, dude, like, I get that you're a Super Bowl winning head coach. You're a Super Bowl winning offensive coordinator, but you're not the best coach ever. And you're with the best quarterback ever. So relax a little bit.
I agree.
That's my whole thing.
I agree. I think what he said you're paraphrasing what he said. Yeah. Isn't wrong. He wasn't clicking. Obviously, he had stuff going on.
Right.
Now, should he have said that? No, he shouldn't have. But that's who Bruce Arians is.
Yes.
He has a couple cocktails deep, like a glass probably similar to this, maybe 1 or 2 less ice cubes. And
filling it up 3 more times.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So him and John Daly are on the same diet. So he probably went in after the post game like that and said the truth a little bit too much when he shouldn't have, because Tom has been very good to him and to that organization. Yes. You got to give the guy a little bit more leeway. Yes, I agree with that. Very much so. But when it comes down to it now, right, it opens up and it makes this NFC a lot more competitive. Dynamic, as they move forward. because a team that we thought we were going to write off in them, a team that we thought we were going to write off in, I was writing off in Minnesota, but, but, and the Eagles that I was thinking hopefully they were going to run away with it. But now everybody kind of brings the pack together a little bit, and it's going to make it a lot more interesting for the last couple of weeks of the season here. And we got one more game we want to recap too that makes it even more competitive.
100%. Yeah, I mean we're talking a lot of NFC here, but I mean, listen, dude, I think it just makes sense. You want to go ahead and lead it off?
Yeah, I mean, Green Bay goes and comes back from 14 down, forces overtime. Aaron Rodgers versus Mike McCarthy. Yes, and he just lost. We'll hit that in a second too. That was we want to talk about how Dallas sucks first, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah, okay. All
right, come on. Give me my shine in the moment. I had a bad week.
You're right.
Let me trash
Kick them while
Dallas
they're down,
first.
Trilly. Kick them while they're down.
These guys, Dak Prescott, they have nothing going on for them.
Sure.
They don't. Tony Pollard, Zeke Elliott, they aren't it, bro. They are not those guys. They're not elite. They aren't. They're good, but they're not elite anymore. Zeke's not elite anymore. Pollard's never been elite. People wanted Pollard to be that guy, but he's just not it, bro.
Nah.
See, CeeDee Lamb, very good player. But that defense, that was so good. The best in the league. The best pass rushers. Oh, my God. Diggs is the best cornerback in the league. You guys blew a 14-point lead to a terrible wide receiving core. Aaron Rodgers doesn't know where to throw the ball. And all of a sudden, this guy from North Dakota State, don't even get me started about guys from North Dakota State. Shout out Carson. I love you, Carson, but well, you suck. But you go and you got C.J. Watson or Christian Watson, whatever his name is, going off for 3 touchdowns on you, and Aaron Rodgers leads the pack like he was 2 years ago, and all of a sudden you give them a rebirth. Sure. Where if you were the Dallas Cowboys, if you were the star, if you were America's team, you would have took it to them and stomped them Sunday afternoon and took it to them, and it would have been over. But you didn't, because you guys are just a garbage franchise. You're a garbage team. You can't win. Dak cannot win. Mike McCarthy cannot win. Smash all the pumpkins you want. Your team sucks. That's all I got.
Well, let's sum it up in one phrase. When you got a billionaire owner who only wants to surround himself with yes men, this is the result you get. When you want to be stupid and pay a guy who never should have gotten paid early, you set the new precedent. You set the new precedent in paying quarterbacks 2 years early. Jerry Jones did that. Jerry Jones did that when there's only going to be so many pieces of the pie left. I'll never forget that interview when he said that, because Dak's agent was fighting Max deal. We got to see how much of the pie is left. And they still paid him 2 years early. And he sucks. And he's not elite. And a guy who he used to be compared to like Kirk Cousins, now Kirk Cousins is pulling away. And I hope the crowd is left that. But the point, dude, is no, I mean, dude, I agree with you. They're good in the moments that, listen, this team has a lot of Green Bay's identity. They play, except Green Bay's lost this though now, in that loss last week or 2 weeks ago to the Lions. Green Bay plays really well against really bad teams recently. That's what they do. That's who they beat up on. They look like they're all elite talent when they're playing the Bears, and they beat them, 30 to 10. Or before, when they were playing the Lions, and they would beat them 26-3. And now the Lions are beating them 15-9. That's who Dallas is. I've said it, for the past couple of weeks here. If there's any team that's a real deal team besides the Eagles in the NFC East, it's the Giants, dude. Because the Giants have an organization right now that's built to take on hard hits. They don't have the guy yet at quarterback, but their coaching overcomes that. Their defensive coordinator, the Drip King, Don Wink, is over there now. Former Raven, shout out, loved him. He's over there preparing that defense in a way that is leading them to wins. And on top of that, they've got a very strong offensive core. Now, they have recently also always had owners that don't want to adjust the times. They're a very brick and mortar organization. Old fans don't adapt to new ways. Let's try to draft another Eli Manning. Thankfully, your coaching staff is overcoming that. But with Dallas, dude, they're all height, no substance. And you see that. And now a team like Green Bay can beat you, but then Green Bay the following week loses just now to the Titans. So what that means is that you got beat by a bad team. You got beat by a bad team. Dallas is like the New York Yankees. They got the name, they got the money, but they are never, ever, ever going to be able to get it done, and they always fall short.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree with you. Now let's recap what you just said right there real quick, because it was coming out on Friday, after the Thursday night football game where Green Bay goes and gets this big win. You think it's going to turn the tables. They break that 5-game losing streak.
They go at home, all white uniforms, which are always looking sick with the yellow helmets.
Exactly. And they go home against in Green Bay against Tannehill and the boys, Mike Vrabel against the Texans, and they got bodied. What they did against Dallas, they did not do in this football game against the Titans. They didn't run the football. I think Aaron Jones got less than 40 yards rushing because I bet the 40 yards and he didn't get it. So I don't think he got it.
There.
They forgot their identity. It was a good football game. It was back and forth, but the Titans came with smash mouth football in Lambeau. The flurries were coming down. It was 26 degrees, as Al Michaels kept saying throughout the game the whole time. It's 26 degrees out. It's flurrying. He wanted to make sure you knew that. Lambeau Field. And the Titans came to play, and the Green Bay Packers that used to take advantage of that, they would use the Lambeau leap all over that and body people. They don't have the toughness. They don't have the physicality. They don't have the it factor to win tough football games anymore. Now, I don't know. Is that because of Aaron? Is that because of the defense, the running game, the head coach? I don't know. What do you think?
I think that what it comes down to, a notable guy that we both listened to a lot had a take this morning about Green Bay going into this game, and he said that this one, if they lose it, it's not on Aaron, it's on the coaching staff and the head coach, and I completely disagree with that. Because at the end of the day, there are games that you can lose from your coaching staff getting out-coached, but when you have somebody that everyone who's watched football says is in the top 7 and top 5, arguably top 5 conversation. You're talking about a guy who, out of everyone who's ever played the game, there's a guy playing right now who, besides in Tom Brady, is 100% within that top 7 to top 5 all time. When he takes the field, he's worth 7 points by his individual self. His IQ, his understanding, his cadence, his development in his arm, the way he's played the game. And when I heard that take, I was like, no, this is wrong. If they lose this game, it's at home. It's because of Aaron. Aaron loses at home last year to not get to an NFC championship in the snow against Jimmy G, who everybody was doubting that year. And Jimmy G goes on the road in the snow and beats you to go to an NFC championship. My biggest takeaway, if you're watching that game, I believe Green Bay had just had 9 points. Talking about, again, Thursday night football just ended. 9 points left in the game, or 9 points on the board by Green Bay. They go, they're on the 15-yard line. Who's number 9, the young receiver for Green Bay? Watson. He goes, they do a slant route. They throw the offensive line, crashes up the middle. Jones goes up, blocks, throws it to his left, and Jones just barely, or Watson just barely misses the catch. And Aaron just starts doing this. And it's like, dude, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. Stop shaking your head at your young guys. This is why you're losing. Now, yes, they went on to the next play and scored, but I don't care. Clean up your body language. Aaron doesn't want to do that. This is why Green Bay's losing. Let's hit the break.
He's very too aware of the cameras. I do agree with
that. And welcome back, everybody.
Cold
One Conversations. I am Brendan Petrilli. We got Harry Heaps. We got Gregory McGrath hanging out in the background there. Don't let him confuse you. He loves to talk.
This past week,
right?
Let's kind of
He's giving out fire picks. He might
get
be
into
a part
the picks. We're gonna make you some more money
coming up later on
in the episode here, because this is what you're here for. You're here to listen for these picks. We're on fire, absolutely on fire. The HTP, the Harry and Trilly parlay hits again. again.
That was the
We're
first time, by the way,
money.
that you said the HTP and didn't have a stroke.
Yeah, I got it right. I worked on it. I looked myself in the mirror. I, all the basic
I get it.
Public speaking things. I worked on it. All right.
That's right.
Yep. I've struggled on a lot of other things during this episode, but hey, we're getting through it. All right.
Like
hey,
the
cheers.
hemorrhoids. Okay, let's get into it. So let's talk about our bets here, because that's what the people are here for, right? We do our unders, we do our underdogs, we do our faves, our overs, and the HTL, and then the HTP. But Trilly, we got to get into the biggest line right now, right, of this NFL week.
Yeah, and this one is an interesting one for
this
sure.
Is an interesting one.
I don't think either of us are going to touch it, but I want your opinion on it, Harry.
100%.
It's your team.
100%.
It's the other birds.
This is, we were talking about, pre-show, how we really have felt that this week, most of the lines really do make sense. There's not a lot that are out of control, which is in prior weeks, we've had Buffalo, minus 14, Buffalo minus 10 again. Eagles have been minus. What was that huge line that the Eagles were at one point? What was that game?
It was 10 the other day. It was 13.
That's right. Yeah.
Thursday night. So they've been favored at double digits.
It's
for the past
been crazy.
Couple weeks.
And now my Baltimore Ravens coming off of a bye at home, minus 13 against the Carolina Panthers, who are also coming off of a bye, with the former Cleveland Brown draftee, first-round pick, and starting quarterback Baker Mayfield, who apparently might be the starter for this week for Carolina. Let's talk about it, man. One of my main things when it comes to my bets, I do not like big lines. You know that. I don't like to go past 6.5. They always make me worried. But dude, this is the team that we could solidify a line like this on, is the crazy thing. Your head's throwing me off. I mean, here's the point that I got to make.
Sorry.
If this defense can play the way that we played against the Saints and even better, then the AFC is truly wide open. If Roquan Smith,
huge addition,
I
like him,
and he was massive in that Saints game. If Clark can show up, if Peters can show up, if Kyle Hamilton can show up and not look lost on the field, we can force some turnovers, hold points down. First time where I was not worried all game long 2 weeks ago about losing a lead was against the Saints. This is the time to do it. This is the time to see, can we only force Carolina to allow them to score 7 to 10 points? Could we shut them out? Could we lay an egg on them? I think that we can lay an egg on them. Who does Carolina have receiving wise? Who do they have? Nobody.
DJ Moore.
If on his game, if Peters on his game, if Humphrey's on his game, he's a no contest. There's no way. But those guys have got to show up. That's the big deal for the Ravens now. The reason why I can't go fully in on this, dude, is that for the first week out of, we're going into week 10 now. Last week was the first time where I've seen the defense play to the level that the offense has been at. The Ravens offense is going to have their way with this Carolina defense. That's just what I believe. Will they cover the 13? I don't know. But do I see them winning by 10? Yes. 13's a very big line, dude. Very big line. I see Mark Andrews, now having, 2 weeks off. I think that Mark Andrews is at least going to get 2 tugs on the game. Kenyon Drake, he's going to be all over the ball. We know that. My biggest hope, dude.
What's up with Gus Edwards, real quick? Sorry. Real quick.
Dude, it's back-to-back seasons of not knowing who our true running back is.
Yeah. Is Gus Edwards going to play this game?
No way. I think it's going to be all Kenyon Drake again. There's no way. It's going to be Kenyon Drake and Lamar who are the rushers for this game.
Okay.
Dobbins is not going to be a Raven at the end of the season. He's going to get cut. Edwards, I think that we'll bring back in because we really won't have to pay him. But Dobbins technically could be coming up for a contract in a little bit at least. And no, what I wish is that if the Ravens could make another big move, I'd love us to get, more than anything, I want us to get a wide receiver, but I'd love us to get a true running back. I mean, dude, like if we could
Saquon.
No way they're letting him go. I mean, dude, if we can make
he's got to be a free agent after the year.
He's re-signing with New York. They're not going to let him go. He's going to be like he should be what Judge is going to be, a New York player for life. But we're not talking about baseball here. We're talking about the Baltimore Ravens. The point being is this. Ravens are going to go off. I think Lamar's 100% going to have a rushing touchdown. Mark Andrews going to have 2. My biggest anytime touchdown, which is definitely going to be in plus money if I had to bet a player prop, and then I know I'll wrap it up and we'll get to the actual bet. But, dude, for the first time against the Saints, we got to see what we drafted likely to do. He's receiving tight end. And for the first week, we took him out of the block. I said this last week on the podcast.
You did.
We took him out of the block, and he scored. And that's what happens when you draft a guy and take him and put him in a position that he's used to playing. Make him go out there and receive. He's not meant to block. Goes and scores. This is a game where likely can prove himself to be a true starter. Who does Carolina have on the defensive end? Nobody. Let Mark Andrews have his way. Let them double him. Let them double Kenyon Drake and throw a pass to Likely. We're in the 30 yards out. Boom, score. And then let JT rain fire on him. Every time JT goes out there, JT's going to have the best game ever. JT's probably going to hit a 70-yard field goal in this game. We're going to have one really bad drive where we can't get it done. And Johnny Har is going to say, JT, how you feeling? He's going to go out. He's going to go. He's going to hit the cross of the wind. And next thing you know, we're going to throw him out there, and he's going to hit a 75-yarder out. All right. Fine.
I like Likely and Andrews moving forward as your 2 best weapons, honestly.
Me too.
I like that.
We get that, dude. I'm telling you, we get the separation with getting one more true offensive firepower weapon in a guy like OBJ. And the points that I made last week, go check out that episode if you want to hear it.
Check out the short.
Check out the short. That separates this Baltimore Ravens team. Now, that being said, listen, dude.
Let's get into the picks.
I'm Baltimore till I ride. So we're opening it up with our faves and with our dogs. With our faves and with our overs. And you know what?
You want me to go first?
I'm saying, you know what? I'm not taking I'm saying do the total. It's going to be over 41.5. Ravens are going to have a day. Ravens are going to put up major numbers in this game.
Major. Like that.
Over 41.5. If you're feeling dangerous, there might be an update. If they lower that line.
If they get it below 40.
Huh?
Said if it gets below 40. What is it at right now?
It's at 41.5.
Yeah, if it gets to 40.5, 39.5.
Yeah. Like this is a game where the Ravens tee off, and let's see. What I see is just quick sets. The last thing I'll say is the time of possession is where we're going to win it. I want for the defense to clean up, for it to be 90-second 2-minute drives for the Carolina's offense, get their offense off the field, make their defense tired, make them work the whole game. Lamar go off. Take the over 41.5. That's my first over for the pick. Carolina at Baltimore, and Baltimore's going to sweep them.
Yeah, I can't fight back on you a lot like I did last episode. We had a nice back and forth.
That was a Civil War episode, dude.
Yeah, it was a good one. Make sure you go check it. Subscribe to the podcast on wherever you're listening, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube. Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Subscribe to it all. Click
Instagram.
The like button, whatever.
Yeah.
Go follow us, Harry Heaps, Brendan Petrilli. Yep. But it was a good one. Nice back and forth. I can't give you that. My team took it nice. But while you guys were on a downfall, you were on a bye. So we didn't get to see it. I like the Ravens this week. I think you guys should crush them. That 14, it's tough. It's tough. I like the over in that. I think you're right on. Yeah. Now, for me, moving into my over, I'm going to take the Birds again. It hit for the HTP.
Ooh, okay.
45.5.
Okay.
This Eagles team, their run defense is struggling. And they brought in some beef this week. They brought in Lindell Joseph. They brought in Ndamukong Suh. They brought in these 2 big beefcakes to try to help out Fletcher Cox while Jordan Davis is recovering from a high ankle sprain. So I still don't like this rush defense. I'm not confident in it. I need another week for these guys to get really comfortable in it. I think that the Colts will be able to score some points at home on this defense because Jonathan Gannon plays off so much with the cornerbacks. You have so much talent there with Bradbury, with Avonte Maddox is hurt now for a couple weeks. They put him on IR. You got Darius Slay, probably, if not the best cornerback in the league, top 3 cornerback in the league out there, but you play off coverage and you just let them on an island in zone coverage, play man-to-man, play bump and run. Trust these guys because these guys are ball hawks. You got C.J. Gardner-Johnson is a ball hawk in the back end of that defense. Marcus Epps is making tackles. but they haven't been doing that. They've been giving up big runs, short yardage, third downs, and they've been giving up points throughout the year. It's been okay when you're scoring 30-plus points a game on the offensive side of the ball, which I still think you can do, that I think they will do against a bad Colts team, where I'm going to get to them in a second. But when it comes down to it, the Colts are going to be able to score 14, 17, maybe 21 points. And if they do that, the Eagles are scoring 30-plus, because this Eagles team, they had those uncharacteristic fumbles, interception, and they'll get back in the right way. They'll run the football. They'll take care of business. And when it comes down to it, the Colts played a bad football team. Everybody was down on them last week. Mike, Jeff Saturday comes in, and everybody's calling him a joke. They're calling him a joke. They don't think he's the guy. He's got no experience, head coach. The guy played in the NFL for the Colts for 14 years. He was an all-pro, Pro Bowler, one of the best at his position at center, comes in and rallies the troops. That's only worth a week in the NFL. They played a bad football team to begin with.
Damn straight. Yes.
It's only worth a week.
Yes.
To get the boys rallied like that. And then after that.
Dude, not an idiot that, and I'm not, no, I'm not talking about, I'm not talking about Jeff. I'm talking about the owner.
Oh, yeah.
He's an idiot.
Yeah, everybody's known that for years.
Them, dude.
Yeah.
You guys are going to wipe the floor with them. You're going to kill them.
So too. I hope so.
It's going to be a murder.
I told you, I was ready to go all in, dude.
I know.
And then you lose that Monday night game, and it knocks me down a lot.
Short week. It's definitely a short week. That's one thing.
Well, you went from, I didn't even say this before, you went from the Thursday night football game all the way to Monday night. So that's 12
Keep the mic
days.
Near you.
Yeah, 12.
I know 12. You're getting into the improv. Yeah, I get it, dude. All right, dude, I think it's a solid pick.
I like the over, 45 and a half.
I like
Eagles are going to score points. I don't think their defense is they've tried to solve the problems. I don't think it's going to click just yet, where I like the 45.
I like it. I like the pick. The reasoning sound. I think it was a horrible decision making a guy for the interim of the rest of your season, who's never coached a day in his life. Yes, he's played in the NFL, but he's got no coaching experience. You make him an automatic head coach. Kind of very, very Jersey Fragrance, Jersey Jerry, which we hope that you sponsor us. Very, very Jerry Jones, JJ, very JJ like.
Jerry would make that move.
Jerry would make that move. Both Jerrys would. So, the point being is, yeah, I think it's a great pick. Okay. I'm doing another over, dude. I've been thinking about this game more and more, and I'm trying to convince myself out of it. And the more reasoning I'm putting into it, I can't. And that's KC on the road, dude. In division rivalry. This is a game where I also could see bettors making money as an underdog if you took LA.
Their hashtag, they're due for a big win. The Chargers.
They are due. They are due for a big win. But they're not going to get a big win here without a shootout.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
So I definitely would say, on one hand, I'm personally not taking it. I don't fully believe in it. But I think that you could make money if you take the points with them plus 4.5. But, dude, I just see this going the way. Everybody wanted to take Bills, KC over 50.5. And I said, no, you're taking the 50.5 under. It's not going to happen. There was only 40-plus points scored in that game. This game is different, as we just went over, Trilly, because the Chargers don't have a defense. The Chargers don't have anywhere close to a defense the way that the Bills do. And every week, everybody is miscounting. And by the way, I will have the updated list, but everybody's miscounting Patty Mahomes. Every week I say this. You're forgetting who the Wizard is. You're forgetting who the king of the AFC is. Everybody forgets who's got the ring. Everybody forgets who's got the Super Bowl winning head coach, who got the Eagles to a Super Bowl, multiple NFC championships, multiple playoff runs with both teams.
We've gotten used to them being
and we're forgetting.
As good as,
yes, and we're forgetting. Casey going off. I think that Justin Herbert has got to at some point prove me wrong and stop proving me right, in that he can't lead out there right now this season. He's got to step up. He's got to dominate the ball. He's got to stop looking lackluster. He's got to be okay with being on camera. And I think that he is. I think he's going to let it fly. They're at home. Beautiful stadium. Phenomenal stadium. And yeah, dude, I see a lot of points in this game. You like that?
I like that he's got to be used to being on camera. What was that? It's the acne. He's not comfortable with it.
I don't know if it's that. He just always like it's like no, it's nothing about that. But it's like the way that Aaron like soaks in the limelight of like wanting to be seen for the wrong reasons. Herbert, you're the QB, dude. You gotta be seen. Like you're the guy that everybody's looking to, and you look shy on the sideline. What's going on? Like, let's have some intensity. Throw a water bottle at somebody.
Yeah. No, I agree. He doesn't have that from right now. He doesn't show that it factor, that one, that killer instinct. He hasn't shown that yet. That competitiveness. He hasn't shown that. But you know who has, and who I like for my favorite of the week.
Tell me.
The guy that won a national championship, the guy that's puffing on cigars that I'm about to once we're done this episode in the locker room. I might just light it up in my aunt's place here. You know what I'm saying? I might do it mid-episode. No, I'm not there. Maybe I don't know.
We don't condone smoking.
It's Joey Burr. The guy that went to a Super Bowl last year.
Great pick.
I like them. 3.5 favorited. I mean, against the Pittsburgh Steelers, I get the rivalry in division. Steelers have always played them tough. You got TJ back, but this team's coming off a bye. The Steelers just won a game that they needed to win to say that they were still kind of relevant. But the Bengals have figured out offensively that they can run the football. Jamar Chase might be back for this game. We're not sure yet with the hip problem. He might test it out. It doesn't seem like he's going to do it. But even if he isn't, I still like their chances because you got Boyd and you got Higgins. And then you got Mixon at the running back.
Do you think that TJ makes a difference against Mixon?
A little, but they're able to throw the ball now where they weren't before.
Sure.
Joe Burrow's confident in his offensive line that they put together. It takes weeks to put together that new offensive line that they paid for. And now those guys are finally gelling. You've had an extra week. You came off a dominant week where you rushed for 5 touchdowns. I think 3.5 is kind of crazy. It should be at least a touchdown in this game, which kind of makes me scared, but it also makes me more confident that the Bengals are going to absolutely dominate this football game.
Dominate it.
All
right, dude. I say we move to. Are you good? Are you good on your faves and your overs? My whole thing is I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to do three. If I'm going to do 3 faves with 3 overs, or if I'm going to do 3 on, because I'm a 6 guy. You're a 5. I'm always a 6. We got that lucky number 11 always on the bet slip. I go 6 straight. You go 5 straight. My question is here. What's the game that I kind of like here? I know that you like the.
I got 2 extra picks that I got from unknown sources behind me.
I know.
And we're going to use that for the parlay. So those will be my 5 and 6.
Talk me into whether or not. Because I got a good feeling about it, man. I want to take a third over here. And you that's unusual.
I love overs. You don't like them.
And that's unusual for me. But dude, I love
that. Hold up, real quick. I want to hit this. And I hope he listens. He better be listening.
Tell me.
Let me fix the glasses real quick.
Yeah, get settled.
I get a text every week. I love the unders this week. I love them. I'm making all this money on the unders. No, you're not. And my boy goes, well, not my boy, my cousin, my family, my familia goes,
blood.
The smart money is on the Eagles Commanders under tonight. Talking about all the Monday Night Football stats. Blah, 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 blah. No. You obviously didn't listen to Cold One Conversation because I told you right here to take that over. And he didn't listen.
No.
The smart money wasn't on it. The smart money, that was stupid money. The smart money is listening right here,
and we play with both.
To the podcast and taking our picks.
We play with both. Stupid and smart. It doesn't matter. We play with both. Now talk me into this bet. Dude. I like the Cincy Steelers game, dude, at over 40.5. I don't.
I like it too.
Let me
I don't know
let
if
me
the
tell you
Steelers
why.
can score points.
Let me tell you. Okay, but let me tell you why. I just asked you, and given I just gave you a point that went against you, right? I said, Trilly, is TJ going to be a problem for Mixon? And then you answered it with maybe a little bit, but they can still throw the ball, right? I don't see this game being. I can't believe I'm saying this. I don't see this being a typical AFC. I don't see this being a typical AFC North game. I don't think that the defenses are going to be here. I think that the Bengals are looking to separate offensively the way they did weeks ago when they ran the ball for 5 touchdowns. For the Bengals, first of all, I think that people are way too hot on the Bengals right now. Like, I think that the Bengals have more to prove than not to prove. And I think where that side mainly comes from is their offense, because I don't think that their defense can hack it long term. I don't think that their defense is the real deal. I think that if Mike Tomlin schemes this right, and he can keep Kenny Pickett outside of trying to throw the ball deep, and he can get Najee on a roll, Steelers could definitely get 10 points, 13 points, get Najee in, maybe even 2 touchdowns if they get deep, make a few mistakes with the Bengals on the defensive side of the ball, some deep penalties, maybe get some, passing interference calls. And then I really think that the Bengals are going to capitalize, dude. I think they're going to win it by a mile. But dude, I mean, I could see the Steelers definitely putting up 14. I think the Bengals are going to score big. Am I crazy? Should I not put that down? Because I want to make a smart pick here, but I think 40.5 is so little, bro.
It's low. It's very low. And yeah. No, I don't think you're crazy. I was just doing a quick calculation in my head.
Little math
in
there.
Yeah, because I see the Bengals at least scoring 21, 3 touchdowns.
100%.
So if not, and a field goal or 2 on top of that, yeah, I like that a lot. I do. I think this team, if low, 21 points. And if you're capping that off, yeah, they'll hit that over with the Steelers. So I like that pick. I don't think you're crazy at all.
I'm taking the Bengals versus the Steelers over 40. So I got first time in podcast history, I took 3 overs.
They're due too.
They're due.
Because we were hitting at a big rate on those unders to start the year.
Yeah,
we've been slowly catching up. Slowly.
We always say it. They're due.
They're due.
They're due. They're
right.
due.
Let's
hit our unders, dude, and our underdogs.
Let's make our way into the unders and the underdogs. Let me start with the first game that I kind of like here. I've been hating on them a little bit. Maybe a lot of it. But I like the New York Jets. Plus 3.5.
Ooh. Against
the New England Patriots.
Good pick, dude. Not much to be said, to be honest. It's a good pick.
They've been playing good football. They lost to the Patriots a couple weeks ago.
Yep. I think they lose this game too.
They seem like a different team. From that, they were pathetic against the Pats. And ever since then, they've bounced back and won a couple games. They beat the Bills.
Yep.
That might be clouding my judgment a little bit. But the Patriots aren't good. They aren't.
No, they're
Their
not.
defense is okay. Matthew Judon's good. But in what way are they going to score points on this Jets defense? I don't see it. Damian Harris is questionable, if not out, going into this game. Who's your wide receivers on that team? Mac Jones is going to throw the ball? Bailey Zappi? I don't think so. I don't love the Jets offense, especially with Breece Hall tearing his ACL.
Mm-hmm.
But they can run the football at least. I don't love Wilson at the quarterback, but they've been scheming him into positions to find the top picks that they've been getting the ball in their hands and just letting their playmakers take over. I like the Jets. I think they'll probably end up winning this game. If they go 0-2 against the Pats, they have no shot at getting into the playoffs. So this is a big take the receipts game from Robert Saleh because they need this dub. They need it.
So I'm going to actually push back on you a little bit. I don't think that they win this game. I think that they're too desperate. I think that everything that you said is right, and I think it plays against them. I think that they cover the 3.5. I think the 3.5 is a strong bet, but I see New England winning this game. And what that comes down to is just it's Bill Belichick. I think that, yes, the Patriots are bad, but they're getting something going on together a little bit in these past few weeks. You got to give them that. And on top of that, dude, right now, as you just said, you just noted that a team that's just starting to find again, we've made the point. They're making defense look cool. They're starting to find some sort of notoriety, maybe creating an identity at the same time. And now they have this desperation behind them. And when you have teams that don't have a winning culture, that have desperation behind them, they make mistakes. They make mistakes.
Yeah,
I don't.
And they haven't done that. They haven't done it so far this year.
Yeah,
a lot.
And it's due.
It is.
It's due. All right. I think it's a good pick. Jets plus 3.5. Solid. Okay. You know, man, I don't know how I feel about this. I'm feeling wary. I keep going back and forth because I'm trying to decide whether or not I'm going to make this one pick my HTL. But you know what, dude? You got to go out on a limb here. Sooner or later, something's got to get into these people. And I'm taking, I got to take the Raiders plus 2.5.
Greg liked that one.
What?
Greg liked that one in the background.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, but first of all, it's the worst game of Sunday.
Oh,
I mean, what a game. Ew. I mean, in Denver against
4 o'clock hour too.
4 o'clock, dude. And
you could have hid that at 1 o'clock.
You could have hid the one. Absolutely could.
Or sent it overseas somewhere and nobody would have watched.
Please.
We all would have slept through it.
Yes. Yeah. Give it a 9 a.m. start on a Saturday, no less. Let's play it while college football is on. I'll watch Bama. But the point being, dude, is at some point or another, neither of these teams know how to score. I feel like at some point or another, they're either just going to completely tee off, but I see the Raiders keeping this one close. Personally, I think that they're going to win the game. I think that they're just going to continue to put Denver in a horrible position. I'm taking the Raiders plus 2.5. I think that Derek Carr has really got to step up here. He's got to make the most out of Devontae Adams being here. If he doesn't, I could see Devontae Adams wanting to force a trade in some way or another. Out again, even though he just got there. Yeah, dude. I mean, Devontae's wasting his time right now. Like, he's wasting his career being
He wanted to play with his boy, though.
No, he didn't. He wanted to play with Aaron, and then he didn't know where Aaron stood. So he left for a guy that he knew.
Maybe.
Yes.
I don't hate that take.
So that's what it comes down to. Raiders
I like
plus
the pick. I like the pick.
Thanks, brother.
For me, looking at the flip side of it, a game that I loved the under in, where I thought it was kind of fishy that it was so high, 59.5. But then I saw the news coming out that they changed the scenery. They changed the venue.
The
location of the game. And now it makes a lot more sense. The game is so high. It's Cleveland versus the Buffalo Bills. Yes. They're expecting to get 6 feet of snow up in Buffalo.
They should have played.
They should have.
That would have been awesome. Right?
What's the point of having home field advantage if you can't fucking play there?
Yep.
Whatever, dude.
Tampa played in a hurricane.
Yeah, they did.
Tampa played in a hurricane at home. They didn't leave.
You're preaching to the choir here, man, because this is soft by the NFL.
Clip that.
I was going to keep it rolling. I was going to keep it going here.
Keep it going.
Hey, the Buffalo Bills are known for their toughness. They're known for their strength. They're known for not running the ball, which it might have hurt them in this football game, because Chubb, even though he wouldn't have been able to see over the 6 feet of snow, neither could I. Hand up.
Hand up. Keep it honest.
They were going to struggle. They're going to struggle a lot because Josh Allen can only do so much with that 6'6" frame. He's only got 6 inches above the snow. No, I'm just kidding.
His arm's about to break anyway.
The under, I love it. Even if it's in a dome in Detroit, unfamiliar scenery for both teams. I hate Jacoby Brissett. This guy is garbage. They can't throw the football. They can't even. Their head coach doesn't know that they should run the football.
Yeah.
Stefanski, he's a prep guy to begin with, so he sucks already. So he's not smart enough to comprehend that you have 2 of the best running backs in the league that just give it to him, feed them, chunt people to death. And he doesn't understand that. He keeps giving Jacoby Brissett the ball and go ahead, make some throws. And it keeps backfiring on them left and right. This Bills team is hungry off a couple bad losses now. They're looking to make a statement. Their defense is going to come out. Hopefully Jordan Poyer's back on this defense. And they make a statement. I'm saying 31-10. We're not even going to sweat it.
I like it. I like it, dude. I mean, you know the way I feel about the Browns, hate them, and you know the way I feel about the Bills, overrated. So yeah, man, it's a total different vibe. And personally, what makes me so upset, dude, is listen, I don't want to go on a tangent here, but a thing that's so great about watching football and having fun is when you get to watch snow games. It shows the time of the year is changing. It makes you feel in such football spirit. We're getting ready to go into Thanksgiving. God bless. The turkey's going to be good. The ham's going to be good. But I want to be able to watch a snow game, dude. I want to watch a game in the snow. Those are always the most fun. Dude, you know how much fun I had watching growing up as a kid? Peyton Manning with the Colts playing against Denver in the snow. I mean, it was just
McCoy.
It was awesome. Yeah. It was can you go anywhere besides the Eags? I mean, come on. No, yeah, of course not. No, you're
we Delco don't go off brand. We don't go
Delco till you die. The point being,
I'm not
first memory of a snow game, 2006, Baltimore Ravens on the road against Denver. First snow game I ever saw, and I loved it. And from there on, I was like, this is the best football weather. But I digress. I hate that they're moving it out. I wish that they could have figured it out. Listen, you're Buffalo. You don't close school unless there's 12 feet on the snow. You're breaking down a football game. We got millions of dollars at stake here. We're betting this bitch. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, play it in Buffalo.
Soft.
All right.
Buffalo soft.
Buffalo soft.
Kidding. I'm just kidding. It wasn't their choice.
Let's talk about it. I'm going for my next under. And you know, I've been doing a lot of points here, and I kind of want to stick with points too. But am I crazy if I go only points in this bet slip? I feel like that could destroy me. I can't just do totals. I gotta do somebody points wise.
You gotta hit the spread. You gotta hit a spread.
I gotta hit a spread. You're right. I got to. Well, you know what, man? I can't believe I'm gonna say it, but I'm taking Chicago +3.
All right.
Against Atlanta, in Atlanta. I think
my mystery picker is very upset you stole his pick.
Well, I'm not redacting it because my percent matters. So fuck that. The point being is this. I think, you know, another way that you could go on this, the points here are way too high. 49.5 is crazy. This is going to be
both a 17. Don't play defense though, bro.
Dude, but at some point or another, bad teams got to screw up. This is going to be a 17.
I don't disagree with that.
21-13 game. Chicago's going to keep it close. Chicago +3.
I don't know, man. Watching these two teams play all year, these teams score points. Their defense don't stop anybody. I like the Chicago big time. I think they might be able to win it. Honestly, the way Justin Fields has been playing, he's more of a running back than a passer. But that's what some people say, not me.
That's what they said about Lamar. Look at that MVP.
Yeah, and he developed, and that's kind of on the trajectory of what the Bears need to see out of Justin Fields. So, all right, Harry, you want to take another quick break, and then we want to give the parlay and the locks a little bit more to breathe here, so we don't run out of time.
Well, we got to give the locks, then we give the parlay. Then we give you a little bit, you know, we got 3 minutes here, so I'm going to give you guys a little story. You know, my grandfather, he comes from the old country, right, of Italy, and his cousins come over. They leave the boot. They come over. They all live together. You know, they're all 17 years old. You know, they're living in the house together. There's like 8 of them all together. And the way that they eat is they go appetizer first, second appetizer second, pasta third, salad at the end. Salad is what we open it up usually with. They don't do that. They go, you ready for the sal? That's always the way they say it, the sal. And they put that dressing, heavy lemon, heavy red vinegar, heavy salt, light pepper, hearts of oregano. That's not even a leaf. And it's just tremendous. And that's what we give you. We give you the 2 appetizers. We recap the week. Then we give you the pasta course. We give you the bets. And then right after that, we give you your greens. We make sure that you feel that you got nutrition in you. That's what you stay here for. We give you the good old country style Italian dinner. All right, let's hit the break.
God bless.
We're back. Better than ever. You're here. You know what you're here for. The HTL, the lock. We brought you the previews. We told you about the Eagles' downfall and how they're coming back up. We told you about the Ravens and how they're going to take over the AFC. We gave you the recaps about Tampa Bay. We gave you the phase. We gave you the overs. We gave you the underdogs and the unders. But this is what you're here for, the Harry and Trilly lock. Trilly, you want me to start us off or you?
I'll go first. Because Harry and I literally, when we were off camera for a second there, taking a quick commercial break, we both literally go, we like both. We like the game. I'm like, I think I know what game you like. I both came to the conclusion. And we had the rock, paper, scissors for it. I said, no, you take it. He said, no, you take it. And we're like, all right, neither of us are going to take it.
And then we leaned into the camera.
Now that we've gone through all that, we're moving back through it. I'm going to take it anyway. I'm taking the under 48.5, Minnesota, Dallas.
Great pick. Great lock.
That's the lock because
break it down.
All the shit I talked on Dallas and Minnesota earlier. Both these teams have somewhat good defenses. They do. They haven't shown it in a couple weeks, but their hashtag, they're due.
They're due. They're due to get some stops.
Defenses have guys that get after the passer.
Yes.
They have guys that can get after Kirk Cousins, get after Dak Prescott, give them trouble, give them fits where they won't be able to move the ball effectively down the field and score points. There's going to be a lot of field goals. Take the over in field goals for these guys because I feel a lot of field goals where the guys can't cash in the red zone. These quarterbacks aren't the guys. They cannot get it done, and they cannot finish in the red zone. They've shown it their whole careers. They've shown it this year. Under 48.5. Lock.
Trilly, what's the over-under total sacks in that game? What's the number?
7.5.
Wow.
You don't think
I agree, dude. There's going to be a lot of kissing on the necks.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of defensive players taking these QBs to the ground, Trilly style, barrel those hips, go to the core, to the ground, lay on top of them. I love you, baby.
Hey, I know how to tackle. I know how to tackle, baby.
Right on their neck.
I know how to take care of you while you're going down.
All right. Now we're going to a weird place. Let's move to my lock. I didn't like the phrasing of that phrase. And let's talk about, a team that proved that the Philadelphia Eagles, they're nothing more than just another team. That's what it comes down to.
You watch your mouth.
And that's the Washington Commanders on the road to Houston. My lock, it's the over 40.5. Both of these teams.
That was rude, but it's a good pick.
It's a good pick. Both of these teams don't have defenses. You noted both the teams that you talked about have defenses, and their offenses overshot themselves last week. They overperformed. Their time to settle back. These two teams don't have any defenses at all. And going into the season, Washington arguably had a top 10 defense, a top 10 front seven. That front seven is barely showed this year. I see a lot of points being scored here. I see Heineke, or as I like to call him, Heine, staying way too much on his high horse. I think he's gonna sling the ball. I think that Washington honestly is gonna let up a lot of points, and I think the reason why he's gonna sling the ball is because he's gonna have to bail them out. I think that Houston's going to score here off of Washington mistakes. I think that there's going to be a lot of penalties that's going to force people to be able to score touchdowns. This should be a field goal game that is going to turn into a lot of sevens. I think the Texans are going to be able to capitalize because Washington's going to make a lot of silly mistakes, and Heineke's proven that he does have the arm where he can score. He's going to bail him out, take the over 40.5.
I like it. I think Houston can score points too. I think Brandon Cooks is due for a breakout game. They have no corners. They have no secondary on that Washington team. Get the ball in Brandon Cooks' hands and let him go. Dameon Pierce can break a couple too. So I love it. All right, let's put together the HTP.
Let's do it.
The locks have been hitting. The parlays hit twice this year.
The locks of death.
We're plus units on the year. We're looking to hit again.
Yeah,
we got a twist to this one. But Harry, I want you to give your first part of the parlay. Just give us one this time because we got two other people in the background that have given us locks that we're going to include on this parlay. We got experts.
Okay, so they're each giving us one. I see.
Yes.
I see. Okay.
They're each going to give us one. Or do you want to go? You want to give me two, and then I'll just take one of theirs?
No. Let's do what you said. I like the idea. We're showing you. Listen, this is about. Let's take a minute here. This is about expanding the show. This is about showing. We bring people in. We got show ideas. Yeah, I know
love our audience.
We love our audience, and we want you guys to be heard. We got fans in the background. Day ones.
Give it to
in the
us.
background. Yeah. All right, so let me give my first part of the HTP. Usually, Trilly, we usually wait until Monday night. We like to throw in a part of the HTP for the Monday night game. I don't like the Monday night game. I'm staying away from it. I can't get a read on it. The 49ers can't perform, and who knows what week you're going to get out of the Cardinals. So I'm not touching that game. And I like the Niners, but I'm not touching that game. The game that I'm taking for my part of the HTP, the game that I'm putting forward, the game that I feel hot on, the one that's going to deliver you the green cash, the brown bag cash.
Brown bag cash.
It's going to be Detroit +3. It's going to be Detroit +3 for a reason. Everybody's counting them out. And the Giants should wipe the floor with them. That this line is only at 3 is telling me that they want people to buy in when it should be at 10.5. I see a lot of not 10.5, but it should be at like 5.5, 6.5. There's going to be a lot of alternate spreads here. I see Detroit going in here. Jared Goff having a good game. Listen, they're not, as we've seen, they can't keep points off, but Jared can sling the ball. Detroit +3.
Okay. All right. I don't hate it. I am a little bit hesitant because Detroit has burned me a lot earlier in this year.
But not me. They burned you. That's different.
Talk me out of why. See, I've been a big Giants hater. Talk me into why now it's the time for it to flip for the Giants.
I think because what it comes down to, dude, is that this is a game where the Giants should automatically go crazy. And that to me reads of
I'm getting the points though.
I'm trying that sometimes they can though, dude. That's the thing. You look at take
the Giants. The Giants can't, is what I'm saying.
I know. Take week 4 example though. I'm going with that. I'm going with what you said. Week 4, Giants. What happens? Daniel Jones back-to-back rushing touchdowns. Okay. Every once in a while they can pull it out. Saquon Barkley. He can work his tight end core. I know nobody on the team. I've just seen him throw the ball. I know that he can do it. And what I think it comes down to, dude, is that this is a game where I think everyone is going to hammer the Giants because who is Detroit? They suck. New York should kill them here. They're absolutely the better team. And that's why I'm saying Detroit's going to keep this close. This is a game where I think that most people would say the lock is the Giants. Go the other way. The lock was Seattle last week, and I fell into that trap. Seattle +2.5, you got to take that. And what happens? Nola goes on, overturns it, makes him pay big time. My bet loses. Everybody's going to be putting money on New York this week. Go the other way.
All right.
That's my reasoning.
All right. No, I don't hate your reasoning at all. Now, let's move in.
Now, give me mine. Give me my other. Who am I getting? Am I getting Sierra's, or am I getting the guy who's lurking in the shadows by the horse poster?
You'll get Greg's. Greg's.
Okay, give me Greg's.
Greg's fading off in the background right now, drinking the Miller High Life. He
Champagne.
Loved that pick that you stole very late in the show, and that's +3 Chicago Bears. You'll get that.
Okay.
That's a good pick. I like that as a lock there. I mean, you talk about it a lot. I think the Bears are scoring a lot of points. I like Justin Fields' development on that squad, and I think it's a very fair that they might win that football game, honestly. And the 3 points is close enough where even if they don't, and we find it to be a slugfest where it's 17-20 or something like that, I like the Bears to be within that number.
I like it.
Now let's move into my pick before
Thanks,
we give
Greg.
you the beautiful Sierra Golden's pick. I'm gonna take the Birds. I'm gonna put them in there. That over 45.5. You know, I like putting one of my picks in.
You do. You love it.
I love because that's how confident I am in. It's not a lock, but it is a lock. And the 45.5, putting it in there. Take it. All right, and then Sierra is going to round off. This girl's red hot. She picks better games than I do.
Really?
Her parlays.
That's not hard.
Relax. All right. She picks better games than I do half the time. She's picking guys to get touchdowns. She's like, Brendan, I don't want to sign up for this sports betting.
She's a player prop. She's a player prop gal.
I don't want to sign up. Cool. And now she's hooked. But she's doing well. And that's what we like to see.
You got the venom in her.
We gotta all right, I was gonna say some stuff that could have got misstrued in the wrong way. We gotta start
I don't even think that was a word, misstruded. But we'll keep going.
It could be misconstrued.
Misconstrued. There it is. You sounded like me, dude. You're not the dyslexic. Come on. What are we doing over here?
A little bit. Well, you went separate of her first pick. She wanted Giants -3 was her first pick. But since you took Detroit, she gave me a second option.
Okay. She thinks on her feet. I like it.
And her second option was, she goes, I like Buffalo to win, but not by 8.5.
Ooh, don't tell me Sierra's bringing in an alternate spread.
She said, take the Cleveland Browns plus 8.5.
You dirty dog. I love it.
I like it.
Cleveland plus 8.5.
I think, change of scenery. I think Cleveland is not that bad of a football team.
Their defense, that's for sure.
Their defense is very good.
Yes.
They can run the ball. If they run the ball, keep the ball out of Josh Allen's hands, this can be easily within a touchdown by the end of the football game. We've seen the Bills have problems on offense and defense. I like it.
I like it too.
She's the goddess. She's the queen of picks.
There we go.
That's the lock for the week. We're going
15 large.
15 large. We're betting it right now. We're going 45.5 Eagles, Indianapolis over. We're going Detroit plus 3.5. Bears plus 3. And Cleveland 8.5. I like it.
What the odds?
We got it 1180. 15 for 175 and 5 cents. We hit it last week.
That's good.
We've hit it 2 out of 8 weeks. We're plus units on the year. Let's rock and roll, people. Come on. You're listening to Cold One Conversations. Thank you so much for listening. I am Brendan Petrilli. That's Harry Heaps. Shout out to the 215.
The stash. It's here to stay.
Go Birds.
Go Vens.
Go. Thanks, everybody.